All right, welcome to Rookie Rumble 723, July the 23rd, here at Lanes Raceway. We're about to get ready to get underway. You can see the racers there biting at the bit, getting ready to race. All right, racers, watch your lights. Here we go. We're going to see 4 red lights drop out into a green, and we're going green racing. Track marshal, my wife. We've got a couple of others up there. I can't really see who they are right now, but here we go. We're going green racing right out of the gate. Weston down low with his new truck body, holding it down on blue lane. Followed by him, Sam Hancock there on orange lane, turning himself 5 laps so far. Carson Ross up on white lane turning 6, followed by Jackson Darty there with 7. Marley on green turning 7. Everybody about 8 to 9 laps here total. Kind of spreading out here a little bit. Everybody running pretty good. Several car incident here taking place as my wife goes to get as many cars as she can put back on the lane. Jackson dive bombing down low there, Sam Hancock down low there in front of Marley, being able to make that pass pretty nice and clean. Our leader right now is Weston there on blue lane, as we can see him kind of acting like a shark here as he comes to reel in the car right above him on orange of Sam Hancock. And Sam Hancock trying to hold his own. He knows he's got just a little bit more of a length there, letting off a little bit before Weston. Weston be able to make a nice clean pass without any kind of incidents to take place. 52 seconds left to go in this heat. Focusing on about middle of the field here, we got Jackson with 28 laps there up on red, just trying to hold his own, keep his car in line, and stay out of some trash here as we get a wreck to take place. Jackson kind of blipping up the trigger, but keeping his car in tow as we get several cars coming off here, almost a full J here, folks. We had about 4 of the 5 cars here today coming off the track, but all these kids having a blast here. Even though there is big wrecks that take place in our rookie rumbles. I'm very impressed with all of our rookie rumblers here for as long as they can keep their car on. You know, you'd say, well, it's a trialable track. It doesn't take a lot of skill. I said, well, you know, go back to our very first series and look at those guys running those NASCAR. Granted, they were a lot faster, but they handle a lot better than these cars. And you can see that they wrecked quite a bit. And these kids here are actually holding their own. We do have the track turned down a couple volts just to get them up and started, but the track's turned down a couple volts also on the orange because when we first started this series, we were going to run both tracks, and what we ended up doing, almost another full J. What we ended up doing was opting out of the orange track as it was just a little bit too much for a rookie class. Plus, not to mention, it would mess with the laps turned, making them turn a whole lot less laps on the orange track versus the green track or trialable. So we went back to the green track. They did race it once. It was the second race in our series, but everybody's since made that race up. Let's go back green racing here. We see in the high banks several cars lined up here. And a dive bomb down low of Weston hanging on to that first place position. He's definitely hungry to take home a victory here at Lanes Raceway. Jackson's been fighting them off as of late. We're passing that middle run here, and we can see that Weston is going to take home first place in our first round robin heat, followed by Sam Hancock on orange. Good racing all around. Carson there in third, tied up with Jackson, and Marley there in 5th position. Going to leave you guys here with a little bit of pinball scores here, and I'll be right back with you. All right, here we go. We're going to cut her in just a little bit. Since we did start a little bit late, we're going to try to save some time if the racers are ready. A whole lot less maintenance required with these GRCs versus some of our pro classes. When they're running 5 minutes, they got to get them motors cool. These guys running 2 minutes, of course, respectfully. See my wife there trying to get a car of Carson put back on red lane. Possibly an issue with some braid there, but she gets him back on. Down low below him, Sam Hancock breaking up, checking up, letting Carson go on through. Pretty good move there, actually, by Sam, as he didn't want to get involved in an incident. It's always best to keep your car on, turn laps, especially on the higher lanes. Be very, very perceptive of other cars around you when they wreck. If you're on red or white lane, if you hear wreck, most likely they're in your lane. So definitely keep a check up there. Coming on the inside, Sam Hancock with another pro move there as he checks up there instead of getting dive bombed hard by Jackson Darty there on green lane. Sam Hancock, just what I'm seeing here with the perception this boy has already, he's definitely going to be moving up in the world when it comes to slot car racing, already learning that stuff this early on, not being taught how to do that kind of stuff. So Sam Hancock might be a guy you need to look out for coming up here maybe in the intermediate class in the future. As we see that dive bomb take place again, Sam Hancock also checking up as he knew that he was beat there, using his left eye to be able to perceive that Jackson was on the inside there, knowing that these guys play rough. Always a good move to keep that car on. Sam's going to definitely be hanging up towards the higher motions here. 28 seconds left to go here. Interesting to see what Sam is running in comparison to the other racers here, simply because of those skills that he's got here. I think you're going to see him towards the upper portions here on white lane in about 15 seconds. Weston Durham there, 103 laps down on purple. And we get our first track call, and I don't know what for. I think just to break rhythm possibly. Who knows? But I will say this, we've had a good rotation here so far. These guys are running their hearts out, not wrecking. Beautiful racing, beautiful racing. 5 seconds left to go. Weston out in the lead, a median of 2.15. That's the best we've seen here. And a best lap of Sam Hancock of a 1.70. This could be possible by maybe someone riding his lane. So we swap over here. We can see Sam Hancock there on white lane. Next to him, Carson has a little bit more experience, but he's turned 3 more laps more than Carson has on white lane. This is what you want to see up high. Now, of course, we seen Sam Hancock last week. He kind of struggled down low on the black and the purple lane. We'll see if he's be able to work that out this week. If he can, we're going to start seeing Sam here just by what we're noticing here, being able to check people up and not dive down into the dead man's corner and cause a wreck. We're going to start seeing this average increase a lot by Sam. He's just got to keep her on down low on these lower lanes. It's tough to learn those starting out, but once you get them, you got them, and then you're running with the best. We see Weston out here with 109, 54.5 is his average. He's out ahead of everybody else as they've been on these upper lanes. Weston been able to come down here on the lower lanes and grab a few more laps. Going to leave you with the current standings here in the Rookie Rumble. And as you can see, Jackson Darty leading that, followed by Jay Latham and Carson Ross to round up your podium top 3. Minute and 40 seconds left to go. We might come in a little early if the racer's ready. If not, I'll see you in a minute and 40. All right, and as we can see, the racers opting, they are ready to run again. So we're going to hop right back in this. Of course, Rookie Rumble costs $8, but they're running for something very special here. First, second, and third get 6 months free track time here at Lanes Raceway. And also, first place brings home a big check and a 4-inch car. So, second and third, they get some 6 months track time. Nothing really different between those two, other than their finish. And I guess reputation of being a little bit better than the other. But the whole point of the rookie race is to get the kiddos and the adults involved in wanting to race some slot car racing. The Rookie Rumble initially is for all age category. We do have a little rumble for 18 and under. We encourage those kids to come in at 3 o'clock on Sunday. Their racing is free. The Rookie Rumble does cost $8, so. But if you're trying to get some track time, this is probably the best way to get it. You're looking at right at $600 is what that would cost if you were just to outright pay that. So, very, very good deal. $10 to enter the series, and then, of course, $8 a race. And who doesn't like racing for a little bit cheaper than a normal race? Normal races here at Lanes Raceway that we pay out in track bucks are $10.50. So, it's a couple dollars cheaper, and you're running for a whole lot more than track bucks. So, I believe this is it's either this week or next week. I think it might be next week. Next week is our last week, and we're shutting down our series. So you're not going to be able to enter after next week. Next week will be the last week you can enter before we shut it down. There's one right there by the coffee machine. Okay. But yeah, next week will be the last week you can enter any of our series. Right now, all 3 of our series are open. They are on the doorway if you get here when we're closed, which we're open from 5 o'clock till 9 or 10, depending on the day, every day of the week. So definitely come and check it out while we're open. You get your questions answered. If not, all the rules and stuff are stated on the doorway if you come in during a time that we are closed. Weston's going to hold on to that lead after that heat, as we can see here by scene 5. Showing Weston at 164, and he ran a decent blue lane there, as we can see, which is interesting to see him on blue lane. Blue, purple, black. Okay, black lane, I'm sorry. 55 total laps there on black lane. Jackson there in second place with 151. We see Sam kind of dropping off a little bit here as he ran 50 laps on orange lane, but increasing his average there. Marley increasing hers as she's ran 53 total laps there on purple, 48.7, 48.3. And then Carson here towards the back having a few wrecks and stuff and being up on the upper portions of the track here, running 46.3. Going to leave you guys with some pinball scores here. Be right back with you. All right, here we go. 4 red lights drop into a green. Watch out for Dead Man's Corner and hear the kids scream. No, I just made that up. Pretty good. Came to me on the fly. Anyways, right out there in the front on green lane, we see Sam taking off there. We got a car stalled out down low on black. It seems to be Marley's. Possibly an issue with the controller hooked up or braid issue down low. Weston still currently in the lead on yellow lane. He's been holding the lead the whole race long. Might see a crossover here take place here the next heat or so, as we are going to cross the midway section after this. But we see Sam there on the upper lanes. He's going to start coming down now. 159 total laps. And he's got a nice smooth car, as we can see here, running pretty well. His body a little bit longer than the other guys. Could cause him a little bit of an issue, but could, for the most part, probably cause him to have a little bit more streamline there. Dana's hand getting involved in the way there of Sam's car there. Marley down on black. She's been here before, folks, and she's won a couple races. She's actually one of the people that signed the upper portion of Lanes Raceway. Coming off the track there a little bit. Several cars getting involved in an incident. My wife's going to go ahead and hit the track call button. As we got Jackson come off also there at the crook of the track, right next to him, Marley, in her blue car. Weston still holding it down in first place, followed by Jackson, both of them turning 33 laps respectively. Marley with 31, Sam with 31, and Carson with 33. Very, very close racing here between these kiddos. Seeing a little bit of a cluster up take place here as we get probably about 4 or so cars getting involved. Usually this happens, folks, when they cluster up like that. Marley with a nice move there. She allows the car on the upper side to take precedent there of Jackson, not driving him in deep. That's a very kind move. Most people that are down on black would drive that pretty hard, but Marley ended up letting him go on by. Very nice move, and I'm sure Jackson's seen that and will probably drive her just as kindly. As we move into scene 5 here, we can see Weston still out in the lead with 54.5 as his average. We can also see Jackson here, a little bit of comparison here. Jackson turning one more lap than Weston on blue. Jackson losing a couple laps there on purple, though. So a little bit of fight back and forth between these two. Marley and everybody else losing a couple laps there to Jack. Carson there, 188, kind of down low. We were used to Carson running in the 50s or so, but we can kind of see that he's suffering a little bit of loss here, maybe a couple wrecks or something. Who knows? Could be nerves. I know when you first start racing, nerves are a real big factor here. We can see Weston trying to be out there trying to have something to prove possibly. Jackson there, of course, holding his resolve, just coming off of a fresh race, so he might be dulled to the butterfly fields. We'll see how things change here in the next minute or so. Going to take you to the current standings, and I'll be right back with you. All right, here we go. 4 red lights going to drop out to a green. We're over halfway now here in the Rookie Rumble as we see a stalled car on green lane. That car of Sam Hancock forgot to rotate. T gets him there in a quick fashion. Just had a talk with Carson, and he had a similar thing take place to him, but he lost 5 or so laps, he said, up on red and white. A full-blown hit there as Carson gets involved with the truck of Weston. I think Jackson might be getting reprimanded for driving on green, but hey, folks, that's how it is. This is a series. If the track's on, go. Track marshals sometimes get caught up in stuff. If your car's not wrecked, roll. This is the most important thing that you can learn here racing slot cars. Don't wreck. Most tracks don't shut tracks off. We do. But I'll assure you this, if the track is green, go. I always try to encourage people to run kindly to one another. It's the best way to learn how to race and stuff. But if wrecks ensue or you cause a bunch of wrecks, it can be given back to you in kind. But nonetheless, if it's green, rock and roll. That time's not going to be given back to you. We're not going to reset that time. And since this whole series is based on your laps turned, when it's green, you got to go no matter what to get more laps so that you can maybe replace a race or get, a high count on the races you've already ran. So remember, 5 races is what counts in this Rookie Rumble. Anything over that, the only way that you're going to gain laps is if you beat one of your previous races. Weston having some trouble there on the orange lane. Several cars wrecking in Dead Man's Corner this heat. A lot of centralized running here. We can see 2 laps difference between Weston and Jackson here. And a car getting placed behind the line there of Sam Hancock on blue. AT. It's kind of funny seeing the guy there on the crook of the track there, leaning up against the track. Looks like he's got a skull head. That's our Dead Man Corner skull. He just so happens his head's right where it's at. It's kind of funny. It looks like he's looking at the camera. Anyways, back to the racing here. 1 lap separates Weston from Jackson. Jackson trying his best to push it home as hard as he can on black to gain those laps. He knows what this is. He knows that you got to get those laps down on black to be able to progress. Down low, you got to make the laps, not get involved in incidents. We see Carson coming off again there on purple lane, struggling today. He's here to have fun and be a jokester or something like that, he was saying, but I had high hopes in him the way he's been performing that he was possibly be pushing for first place. 1 lap separates Jackson from Weston. As we can see here, the average is kind of tightening up a little bit. Jackson 52.8 to Weston's 53. Weston going to be going up towards the upper portions of the track for the remainder. And we are going to see Jackson hit 1 more high lane. Sam's all but going downhill here. So if Sam can keep his car on and run some pretty fast lanes down here on black, we might see him progressively get a little bit quicker here. And move up, of course. Now we can see Marley and Carson. Carson kind of in the middle here, but he's going towards the bottom middle. Marley's going to be going towards the top. So anybody going towards the top is going to start losing some laps. So Weston and Marley, we're going to start seeing some laps being lost here. But we will be right back with you just as soon as the racers are ready. I didn't even got to hit it this time. Looks like the keyboard's going to hit it for me. Love you too, mother. Hey, did you get any high scores? High right now. I'm hitting every shot I want to hit. Love you, mother. All right, back to racing. 1 minute and 41 seconds. We got a tie going on right now between Jackson and Weston. A while ago, Jackson said that Weston was going to pay him $30 to win. I'm thinking to myself, take it. If it was me, I've already ran my 5 races. So one race for a win. I'm still going to be able to turn laps and possibly be able to replace one of my races. Why not take it? You take that $30, get you a new gear ratio set or something like that. This might be thinking a little bit outside of the box, you know. But it's not always about winning sometimes, the way I feel about it. It's about advancing, I guess you would say. If I was in Jackson's position, I might actually consider it because, you know, $30, that's like winning. But I don't encourage them to sell out, I guess. But in this case, it's not really selling out because Jackson's already got his 5 races. Here I am trying to give excuse for it. But nonetheless, it's always good to think about prospects of such nature, whether or not you deem that a come up or not. I actually do. Jackson there in the lead by 1 lap. Weston in second. Sam Hancock there in third place, 273. Marley, 268 in fourth. And Carson, 263 in fifth. This round robin, 6 of 8, 45 seconds left to go. These guys are running hard. Oh, we get a little bit of a backup there as we see Carson coming off. But Weston was able to make it through all that debacle. As we see my wife shut the track off and turn her back on. .32 seconds left to go. Jackson now 2 laps ahead of Weston. Sam, of course, he's down low. As long as he can keep that car down and make good laps, we might see him maybe breach that second place position here against Weston up on White Lane. He's just got to keep rolling and stay out of trouble. Sam's second race, I believe, and I'll tell you what, to be just 2 races in, he's done exceptional here. Carson rushing him pretty hard there. He goes ahead and lets him go by. These are moves that takes years for people to learn, and it just so happens Sam is a natural way of letting people go by. It's pretty tough to let people go by and not lose time, and he's pretty good at it. We can see Jackson there out in the lead with 318, followed by Weston with 315. Sam with 297, and we still got 2 heats left to go. It's going to be close. As we can see Weston going up high, we're going to see Sam go down low. We might see a swap up here depending on if Weston can keep his resolve. If he can't, we might see Sam take home second place here tonight and have quite a few laps to add to his races. Marley there in fourth position. Marley not currently in the series, but she's here to race tonight and have a good time. Carson there, of course, in the series. We'll see if he'll be able to replace one of his races tonight. He's got 2 medium lanes left to go, so he should be able to pull that average up just a smidge. Pulling you back over to the series standing, and we'll see you here shortly. Y'all ready? All right, racers, watch your lights. Here we go. Round robin, 7 of 8. Full red light's going to drop out to a green. And the man of the hour right now seems to be Sam. Can he make that 20 or so laps needed to be able to catch Weston? Well, it's all going to revolve around him catching these people down low, running nice and tight, not lifting for nobody at this point. He's on black lane. Everybody else needs to lift for Sam, and we need to see if he can make some of these laps. He's hoping and praying that Weston wrecks about 3 or 4 times, but that's about the closest bout that we got going on here currently. We did see a wreck there take place from Weston right there as he goes to fix his car there on red lane. But he's so far turned 17. He's got about three laps or so ahead of Weston right now, and he's still got 1 minute and 16 seconds to make even more. Coming up next, he'll be on yellow lane. So after this, we'll be able to see exactly how many laps he was able to successfully turn over Weston. We can see Weston's car coming completely off. This is a big come up for Sam as he's drawing that line. He's here to win, folks. He's here to run that race. Look at the seriousness in his eyes down there as he's watching that car like a hawk, folks. He's moving that head. He's swaying that body. I see a bunch of pros sway their bodies too when they're running wing cars and flexi cars. So, you know, watching him run here, getting that perfect rhythm, holding that car in, he's only focused on one thing, and that's how many laps can Sam run. He's got it within 10 laps now to Weston, and he's doing quite well. We see Weston involved in another incident. This is what Sam's wanting to see that bridge gap take even closer. He's got it within 8 laps now, and we're going to see him even get closer and closer to Weston. Weston may be feeling the heat now as we hear silence out there from the kiddos, as we see Sam really pushing as hard as he can here to draw it in. Like I said, he's got 8 laps is the difference between him and Weston as he goes to pull another lap here, getting in front of him. What a great heat for Sam. Took 10 laps from Weston, that heat alone. Like I said, it was going to be a close little battle, and I knew just by the way Sam's been driving here all day, he's been driving pretty consistent, that it was going to be close between him and Weston. We see Weston now going on green lane. He's not going to suffer as harshly as he did the previous heat unless he just starts wrecking a lot on green. But I will say this, Sam is going on yellow lane, arguably one of the fastest lanes here, as we see Glenn Burden there teaching him a few things about where to put his car there on the high banks. We can see him grabbing his sticker. He's taking it serious, folks. He's coming here. He's ready to fight. And just what we're seeing here so far, maybe by the end of the season, we'll see him probably duking it out a little bit with Jackson, as much as he's learned just in the past race. I mean, you go from running at the bottom, but running up close at the beginning, losing it all on black lane. We can see here he's not suffered much on black lane this week. He's done great. 56 laps to 59 of Jackson. Jackson having several more weeks of experience too. So, like I said, this guy's a quick learner. He's a lot like Jackson, very, very quick learner. I think here in this final 8 of 8 round robin heat, we might actually see him maybe take Weston possibly. Weston, of course, having quite a bit more experience. So Weston's just gonna have to hold his resolve, focus in more on his truck, and you know, it's like I told Jackson today: less talking, more racing. If you guys can do that and keep yourself like that, you'll be able to run better races. But all these kids, they're kids. They love talking, and that's what causes their concentration to get broke a lot of the times. 57 seconds left to go before we go back green. I'll check on the kids. We'll be right back with you. All ready? final heat. Racers biting at the bit, ready to go. Will we see a change in leadership here? Will we see a change of the podium? Looks like we had a battle between Marley and Carson down low. Marley ahead by about a lap. Carson down low. If he can hold his resolve, he might be able to pass Marley. It's going to be close, though. As Carson's had quite a few wrecks here tonight, but nothing but solid somberness here tonight on this 8 of 8 heat. As we can see, Sam really cranking it home, getting involved in a huge wreck here as he ramrods the backside of 2 vehicles here. Hopefully Sam's car is okay. Usually those hard hits like that usually cause the front ends to bend, but we'll see. We're going to get 4 red lights and drop out to green, so Sam just needs to hold his resolve, and hopefully his car is not too bad bent. A nice takeoff there done by Sam as he dive bombs down low, trying to get every last lap he can possibly get. 8 laps is what separates him from Weston. 1 minute and 18 seconds left to go. He's going to have to start grabbing some more laps from Weston. He needs Weston to wreck to be able to reel it in. Weston already come off twice so far. As he's gained another couple of laps. He needs about 6 more, though, as he's going to get another one right here. Now he needs 5 more laps. Weston right there on his outside there on green lane. We'll see if he'll be able to swap up to second place. Weston coming completely off the track, as we are seeing that Sam was able to get 2 laps on him right there. 4 laps is what separates these two now. Sam running the race of his life here as he comes to reel in Weston. 4 laps separates these two. Jackson, he's out on his own yet again here as the most experienced racer, probably going to take home first place. But Sam, 4 laps. What a comeback we're seeing here from Sam. And Sam's driving his heart out. I think it's actually getting into Weston's head a little bit. Weston, he's kind of cutting up and stuff. Not the time to be cutting up. This is the time to draw serious and pay really close attention to your own car, because it can easily be lost here, as we see Sam really driving his heart out, taking this serious like he should. And he's driving hard here, folks, as he goes to get another lap there on Weston. We can see there on yellow lane, he's trying his best to reel him in again. He's got 26 seconds to make 4 laps, 3 laps now. So it's going to be close. 18 seconds. He needs a wreck, at least 2 wrecks, to be able to reel it in. But either way you look at it, he's run an impeccable race here tonight as he goes to get another lap right there on the inside. 7 seconds left to go. 3 laps separates the difference between the two. I don't think he's going to be able to pull it off this time, but what a race he's had. Weston was able to hold it off there at the end, get into serious mode, and keep it up. Weston actually doing quite well, holding it in, keeping a second place this week. A good comeback for Weston. Speaking of Weston, earlier today, he was having a little bit of trouble, and, you know, Weston's been finishing towards the back a little bit here recently in the rookie race, past couple races, and it's good to see him back up in second position. Between him and Sam, there might be a little bit of a rivalry taking place here. We'll see what Sam thinks about it maybe next week. As every week he's getting progressively better. We can see Carson here. He's kind of falling off of that second position. We're starting to see him maybe take it a little bit less serious. I don't know. But maybe take a look over his car, possibly oil him, do something. But we could start to see him was getting progressively better, and then it was kind of fluctuating back and forth. So Carson's biggest deal, just keep the car on the track. If he would probably run very, very well. Marley here, of course, hadn't been here in a few races, but, man, keeping it right there with the boys within just a couple laps. That's been racing every single week. Altogether, great racing from everybody. Our podium finishers here, Jackson, Weston, and Sam. Jackson, Weston, and Sam, if you would, please go to the podium for your pictures. I'm going to go out there and meet them and have a few words with our finishers, and I'll see you soon. All right, Axon Jackson out there in first place yet again. Of course, you said you were going to first place in both of these. You just came off of a race, had a little bit of an advantage over the rest of the guys, racing all day long. So the butterflies didn't hit you as strong as it did them. Of course, you know, you just came off a race. The butterflies wasn't there. Would you agree?
Yes.
Well, 419 laps. You're probably going to replace a race with that, I would say. Weston, good to see you back up there in second position. Let me ask you a question, though. Sam Hancock, did he make you sweat a little bit?
Yeah.
You didn't know he was there? I'll tell you what, he was hunting you down. Well, I'll tell you what, Sam is he's fixing to be up there with you guys. He's got skills about faster cars go by him. Sam, was you hunting down Weston up there?
I was trying.
I seen it, man. I think if you had seconds, you would have nabbed him. Seen a lot of cutting up and laughing, but one thing I could see, Sam was over there. He was serious, folks. So I'm gonna watching out for this. Serious on him. He's going for you, Jackson. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
You know, having a little bit of trouble with your car there, a little bit of wrecks having, but I did see that you was having fun out there. Are you going to try to maybe fix the car a little, maybe do something with the car to maybe help you stay on a little better and come up in the mix? And we're used to seeing you in that second position, and it's kind of a little bit strange to see you down so low. What would you think that's got you down there low today?
I honestly don't know. Maybe my body.
Body? And it could be. You know, these bodies, as you can see here on Jackson, several bump ups, tape, and stuff like that. Of course, I think Weston, brand new body today, we see him, he was running towards the back the past couple weeks and got him a fresh body, and now he's back up there in second. Maybe something we look at about maybe getting your body taped up and getting you going here in the future. But we want you guys being in that competitive zone like we see first, second, and third there within just a few laps of each other. We like that tight racing. But, man, all you guys had a great race here tonight. I'm glad you guys stopped by. Anything y'all want to say to you fans?
Jackson's going to lose.
LMP was a good race.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it. This is Donovan Kirtley here for this showing of the Rookie Rumble here in Livermore, Kentucky. Please give us a call, 270-278-1400 for all your slot car and hobby needs. This is Donovan Kirtley. Thank you again for tuning in.